Hi there, it's David here, and today we're going to be discussing episode 6 of season 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race. This is the Drag Olympics episode, and it's got Adam Rippon as a guest judge. This was, his winning audition to get the live Queen's Reveal gig, and we all know how that went. Overall for the challenge, I think that this was less Olympics and more like just a dance challenge. If I had gone for this challenge as like an Olympics concept, it would have been more similar to what they were trying to do on the Queen's Reveal live stream with them doing stupid challenges, but actually good. Like, having them do makeup with their eyes closed, or, the things you see on YouTube with queens challenging each other. If you can make an Olympics episode with a ton of segments like that, it's cut downable, put it on YouTube, that would have been way more on theme. Instead, we got sort of a mediocre step challenge that I wouldn't really want to watch over again. I'll go queen by queen and just review how they performed, because at this point, the plot of this season is non-existent. So Akiria, I feel like, okay, so she won the mini challenge, which I didn't really understand. She just sort of like had a twerking moment near the end. But I will say that the guest loved Connie for the mini challenge, who, if you didn't know, was made famous by the one-liner in Legally Blonde, "Works every time," during the iconic Bend and Snap segment. Loved her. Didn't know about her. Apparently she has a World of Wonder show coming up, and this was like something to elevate her pre-existing 800 Twitter followers. So good on her. She made the most of her screen time. I thought that she was actually quite funny, and I laughed out loud a few times. And the mini challenge overall, although budget as hell being in the workroom, at least was entertaining because of her mostly. Also, Plastique won in addition to Akiria for the mini challenge. I'll get to her, but both of those wins didn't make sense. An ongoing theme this season with the weird judging. Anyway, back to Akiria. Again, for the challenge itself, she ended up being the winner, and I don't really get why. She was giving a lot of face, a lot of sass, and like definitely for the moments that there were close-ups on her, I felt like, okay, she's really representing. But as far as the actual choreography goes, she wasn't the one doing most of the stunts. That said, her runway, if they were actually taking that into account this episode, because that's frequently not the case, was by far and away the best. Really ornate, intricate beading, classic pageant. The wig, I think that this is the same as her promo wig, if I'm not wrong. And, she really did it correct. Her runways throughout the whole season have been really great. So if that's the reason for winning this week, then I guess she gets the win. But as far as the Olympics, which was supposed to be the main challenge, I'm not really clear on why she was the winner. Next up, we have Miss Brooke, who I'm sleeping on at this point. Her runway was not good. Her performance in the challenge was fine, but we've already seen her do all of this stuff. I guess she learned how to do a death drop this episode, which I do not believe that she's never tried that before. The whole her trying out how to do a dip in the workroom was definitely put on for the camera. After being in drag for this long and being a dancer, she's done a death drop before. Next, we have Miss Silky, who shouldn't be in the competition anymore. Her runway was atrocious. Her contribution to the main challenge was not really memorable. I don't remember what she did, but she's taken the spot of other queens who should be there. Evie's contribution to this episode was her ankle injury, which, I'm sorry, this is where I have to stop for a moment and just take a look at the production of this show. Because on a show that's at this scale, accidents don't just happen. This may be the fact that I just finished binging the 4th season of Unreal, but some producer told her to keep it to herself that she had this condition so that she could be a pillar of strength or inspiration, or so that the other girls could see her as a fierce competitor. I don't know what the case was, but her injuring herself during this challenge could not have been a pure accident. I'm just not going to believe it. And it's terrible that they would utilize something like that for a storyline when it incurs physical harm to one of the contestants. Wouldn't be the first time in reality TV. It's kind of a big issue in my opinion, and something that's not being discussed, but I'll try and table that for a moment. I think the fact that she used that on the runway was obviously a great choice. She's definitely a contender. That's not even a question at this point. And for what it was in the challenge, her sort of contortion element, it was among the more entertaining of her group. So I'm all about Evie, keep on going. I hope that your leg doesn't break next episode. Suga didn't really stand out this episode. Her runway, I mean, this like sequin changing, when Monet wore it on All Stars, I didn't buy it. The blue gloves are giving me when I wear my nitrile gloves because of my eczema on my hands moments. They need to do another acting challenge or a hosting challenge or something so that Shoka can make an impression. Next, we've got Plastique. Again, no real impression from the challenge. She did all the moves that she needed to do, but I agree with the judges. She really wasn't giving me much real presence. Her runway was really beautiful. The skirt part of it was a little wonky and like too long, but that top half, I mean, Valkyrie moment, nothing new for her. We've seen a lot of this kind of gold feathered thing by now, but she looks great. Next, we have Raja. Who should be going home? Like, why are you still in this competition? Even the dance challenge, like, I had high expectations for her. They're voguing in this. They're doing, like, it should be straight up her alley. And all you can see is her, like, counting 5, 6, 7, 8, just sort of focusing on what move is next. There's no performance element to it. Maybe she's somebody who's used to ad-libbing and she just freestyles when she does her lip syncs, but no presence in the challenge. The runway is another bodysuit. I am very frustrated that they continue to keep her there, because at this point, even the drama aspect is running short. So I don't know. Maybe she's just really great in the room when she's lip syncing, and it's just like they're feeling that energy and genuinely think that she does better, but why else is she there? I don't understand. Miss Vanjie had like a little bit of a character arc this episode. She's like saying that she really wants it and she doesn't want to be seen as just coasting along. So, all right, we're giving a more less humor, more human element to Ms. Vanjie's character on this season. She definitely came through and showed that competitor. I would have chosen her to be the winner of this challenge. Maybe it was just the editing and all the close-ups, but she really was like hitting every move. She was giving you a lot of presence, and I felt like really this challenge was right up her alley if it hadn't been for the runway. When she stepped out and she turned the corner, I was so frustrated. Why do you need to wear this? Like, come on, this was your challenge to win, and we're looking at a corset, a leotard, and a mask, and some tights that are not the same color as your arms and your chest. I don't know what she was thinking, but no. Nina was next. She actually contributed some good facials to the episode, because honestly, as Adam Rippon says, if you're not giving facial, what does he say about facials? Anyway, she's honestly my choice to win, because I just think it would be the most interesting results of the queens that are given this season. Her runway was not great. It's fine. I don't detest it as much as I'm sure some people did, but compared to last week when we got so many creative and intricate ideas, this is really just sort of a filler look. And then lastly, we have Scarlett, who, yeah, she's not a dancer, but she was at least like performing. Travis did say that she was the most improved of the group. Y'all know, if you've been watching these reviews, that I am not a huge Scarlett fan, but her elimination on this episode really deeply frustrated me. I thought her runway look was fine. It wasn't like one of the best ones up there, but it was definitely together. It was not anything new that we haven't seen from her before, but compared to some of the other looks, which I think were like a total failure, if you're thinking like Silky or even Brooke, honestly, this friggin' Suga's look, like this compared to the worst of the week on the runway was not among them. And I thought that what she brought to the challenge was better than like fading into the background like Raja did, or I guess like Silky did, because I don't really remember what she did. And then, so when you factor in the lip sync, so she and Raja are in the bottom two, Raja does the same thing that she always does, where she just like sort of pulls out her 8 count, doing the dance thing, which is entertaining in its own right. But Scarlett, knowing that she's not a dancer, has every stunt pulled out. She's got Alaska's scissor cutoff moment from All Stars 2 referenced in the bag. She's got glitter, throwing it all over the place. They're doing Last Dance, which is one of my favorite songs of all time ever. And honestly, I thought that Scarlett had a full arc in this lip sync. She started slow, it was ethereal, she had a joyful moment, she's spinning around. I was there for it, and really shocked when they chose to send her home. She was not the one to go. Raja has been fit to leave for weeks now, and at this point, I can't even keep track of why they're choosing the winners or the losers that they're choosing. Maybe it's simply to inspire outrage among the fandom, to get people talking, but that has a limit. Like, at a certain point, it just becomes boring because the queens that I want to tune in for every week are no longer there. At this point, I don't even know if it's inspiring enough enthusiasm for me to keep doing these reviews, which sucks because I love being able to stay in touch on a weekly basis, cover something that we both know about, and like, you know, have a chat with y'all. But for the amount of time that it takes and the amount of thought that I'm putting into it, I'm just feeling that the show is really not measuring up anymore. I hate to like cut a commitment off halfway through, but if I'm not gonna be enjoying making these, then I'm not gonna like sit here and try and like fabricate it for y'all. If you can't tell, like even this review, I'm just trying to get through as quickly as I can because I'm over it. This may be the last episode I cover for the season. It depends, but I want to see how I can use the time more effectively to just like check in with you guys about something that maybe we can both be equally enthusiastic about. I don't know, blah, 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 blah. I hate these kinds of like self-indulgent YouTube announcements. But let me know what you thought of this episode, at least in the comments. If you still want to hear my thoughts about the episodes, even if I'm not making videos, I'll likely be tweeting about them. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, you can definitely like check out the link in the down bar. It's at David Levitz on Twitter. If you agreed or disagreed with anything I said or any of the choices made this week on the show, leave it in the comments below. And other than that, I thank y'all very much for watching, and I will see you soon. All right, bye.